Since several people have commented about the design of my raised bed garden, I thought I would try to give you an overall look at the garden. What I wanted was a place to grow perennial types of vegetables and fruits, and I decided I'd fence it in, and I planned on buying pre-made fence panels, and I went to Home Depot and couldn't find them, and I thought they'd have to be special ordered, so since I didn't know how many I needed, I decided to just build the fence myself. And what I did was, for the post, I used landscape timbers, and so that saved me some money. I've done that in the past, and they hold up very well. And put 2x4s for the cross members, and then for the pickets, I bought dog-eared fence boards, which are like for privacy fences, and I ripped them down on the table saw and made all the pickets. And wouldn't you know, when I went back to Home Depot for another load of wood, I saw the pre-made fence panels laying next to Home Depot. So I went through all this trouble for nothing. But it saved me some money, and I eventually got it done, and it looks okay. So that's how I built the fence. And in front of the fence, I planted some blueberry bushes, and I've planted some grapevines. I'm going to run grapevines across the top of the fence, and I have a few tomatoes and peppers and zucchini and some globe artichokes planted out front. And what I hope to do is, I have a grapevine there, and I hope to run it across the fence and over the arch. And that grapevine has 3 clusters of blooms on it right now, so I might get some grapes off of it this year. And I planted some zucchini at the corner of the fence, and some miniature sunflowers by the gate. I have a pomegranate bush there, and the winter just about killed it off. It's slowly coming back. But inside, what I wanted to do was to maximize the growing area and minimize the paths. So I made boxes all the way around the inside of the fence, just one continuous box, and up in front of the garage. And then these PVC panels were already here. We had put these up years ago to screen out the garbage cans and things. So I had to work around those. And what I did was I dug out the ground and put down the pavers, and then I built the boxes out of those dog-eared fence boards as well. And by doing it this way, I didn't have to buy any dirt. I just used the dirt that was already here. So that saved me some money. And the fence boards seem to work out pretty well. I don't have much, there's some warping out here, but they don't seem to have heaved out of the ground this winter, and we had a very severe winter. So, and I drove stakes, you see right there, I drove a stake and then screwed the board to the stake, and that's how they're constructed. But out here I have cabbage planted here, and they're supposed to be 50-pound heads. Now, I didn't think that would be possible, but they are some mighty big heads of cabbage, so maybe they will be that big, who knows. And here I planted onions. I have super sweets, and they don't seem to be doing as well as the others. And Stuttgarters. And one thing I like about these raised beds is I can write the name of things right there on the box, so I won't forget what I have, and then next year I can plant more of whatever does the best. And I have red onions and yellow onions, and here I planted broccoli. And I found that when I plant cold crops, that instead of starting them indoors and fussing over the temperature and the light and all of that, that I found that I can just throw some seeds on the ground, and when they come up, transplant them, and they do just fine, and better than the ones I fuss over inside. So if you haven't had any luck with starting things indoors, just try throwing them out on the ground and see what comes up. And here I have the asparagus that I planted a couple months ago, and along the back fence I have strawberries and thornless blackberries, and the blackberries are producing already, so you don't have to wait forever to get any fruit off of these things. I know a lot of times you think, you know, you'll be 100 years old before you get any kind of fruit out of this stuff, but it comes along fast. And along here I have blueberries, and I got these on sale last year. At the end of the summer they had marked down all of their plants at the nursery, and I got a real good deal on the blueberry bushes, and if you can see, they're just loaded with berries. So just 1 year later and I have blueberries. And on the strawberries, according to the instructions, you're supposed to keep the blooms picked off of the strawberries the first year, and then they'll put out runners, and you can let them have 2 babies each, and they'll end up, the plants will be spaced 3 to 5 inches apart. So on these 2 boxes of strawberries, I've done what I'm supposed to. I've kept the blooms picked off of these. But on the ones along the garage and along the fence, I've let them produce berries, because I'm down to my last jar of strawberry jam, and things get ugly around here when we run out of strawberry jam. So they're producing berries, and I'm going to get plenty. You can see they're already putting out berries. I just planted these strawberry plants 2 months ago. But I will say that the plants that I've kept the blooms picked off of are a lot heftier than the ones that I have let bloom. So it probably is a good idea to pull the blooms off and do what you're supposed to. And you'll have much stronger plants because of it. And let me start at the back. This last box, I don't have anything planted there yet. I'm just using that as a compost pile. And this one I planted watermelon and cantaloupe, and some of the cantaloupe has started coming up. And I saved the seed from a cantaloupe that I bought at the grocery store a couple years ago, and I planted the seed last year, and I got some nice cantaloupes from it. So there's one way to get free seeds. You know, if you buy a cantaloupe from the grocery store, save the seeds. And the ones that grew from those seeds were just like the ones that I bought at the grocery store. So here I planted some tomatoes, and a lady named Janet sent me the seeds last year, and I grew some tomato plants and saved the seed from that, and they're doing great. Thanks again, Janet. I love these tomatoes. And if you haven't had any luck starting your own tomatoes in the house, because it's not easy to do that, you have to deal with the temperature and the light and all that, you can just throw some seed on the ground right there and start them, and then when they're a little bigger, just, you know, dig them up and transplant them to where you need them. They'll grow just fine that way. I mean, you're not going to get the first tomato on the block, but you can get tomato plants that way very easily. And here I have carrots, and several times over the years I tried to grow carrots and never had any luck with them. So last year I looked on the website of my state's extension office to see what they had to say about carrots. And they said that the only type of carrot that will grow in my state are half-longs. And all along I'd been trying to grow long carrots. Excuse me. So I planted some half-long carrots last year, and they did great. And I expected some puny little stubby carrots, but they're nice carrots. They are about 7 or 8 inches long. There was they were very nice carrots. So I planted some long carrots to show you the problem I'd encountered over the years. And they're the half longs. You can see how they're doing very well. And these are longs I planted the same day in the same way. And I just don't get any good results from them. So the lesson to be learned here is check your state's extension office to see any information they have about things, because they do know what they're talking about. And if you're having a hard time growing something, maybe switching to a different type or a different variety would give you better results, because there's living proof. That's long carrots. They don't grow well here. The Virginia Extension Office said they won't. And there's the half longs. They were dead right on that. Here I have beets, and I have more onions here, and you've seen the strawberries. Excuse me. I'm real pleased with the way the strawberries have grown. And I have peppers and garlic and more peppers. I have cucumbers here, and that's about it. I have strawberries there that I bought in the fall. These are Everbears, and they're producing very well. I have a few that are ripe. And some more cabbage. And a head of lettuce. Don't have any luck with lettuce. I planted 8 and I only have 2 left. They've been rotting off on me. And that's about it. So that's the design of the garden. Let's see if you get... I tried to keep it as efficient as possible, and I don't know if I remember if I mentioned it or not, but the reason I made the beds in one long continuous box rather than in 8-foot sections is because I have a rototiller, and I didn't want to have to turn up all of these boxes by hand every year. So I can get my tiller in these boxes and turn them over with that. I found I can, I take 2 little pieces of wood, make a ramp, just ramp it up and get the tiller right up in there. It works out great. So that's the raised bed garden. Hope it helps.